Hi everybody, it's Catherine. I hope you're doing well today. My next installment for my kit will be this box, which measures 1.5 by 7 3/4 by 3/4. Right, and inside is a Rooster pen. I looked all over and I finally got some Rooster pens. I do have, in order to get 12 Rooster pens, I had to buy, there was only 6 in each package, and I got some chickens with blue and pink stems. If you'd rather have a chicken with the blue stem rather than the rooster, just let me know in the kit. But I only have 6 of the blue ones. All right. So again, I'm using the Hey Chucks bundle stamp set and dies, along with the Nested Essential dies for these 2 pieces here. I also use the inked Botanicals DSP, which is what I'm going to be using for the entire kit. Okay. So what we need for this project is a piece of Lost Lagoon that is 10 by 5. We need some basic white for stamping. Okay, for the DSP, I'm going to be using inked Botanicals, which I will be using for the whole kit. All right, so we need 2 pieces that are 1 1/4 by 5 out of the crushed curry pattern, and 2 pieces that are 1 1/4 by 3 out of the Lost Lagoon. I cut 2 pieces from the nested labels. This one is thick white cardstock, and it measures around 2 1/8 by 1 7/8. Okay, so that one we're using the whole thing. Let me show you which. Okay, so for this one, it's the second largest, and then the one below it is what we're using for this one. I cut one out of Lost Lagoon, and then I cut off the bottom 3/4 of it. Okay, and then I cut a moon from crushed curry, a sun from crushed curry, and the weather vane from basic black. All right, so let me get my Simply Scored. Okay, and we're going to be starting on the 10-inch side, and we're going to score at 3/4, 8 1/2, and 9 1/4. We're going to turn the paper to the 5-inch side, and we're going to score at 3/4, 2 1/4, 3, and 4 1/2. Okay. So now I'm going to fold and burnish all my score lines, and this is my host code if you are going to purchase anything on my website that is $150 or less, not including shipping and tax. Please put that in. I would appreciate that. Okay, so now we're going to do this one vertically also. So how I have this is the 1/2 inch rectangle is on the left, and there are 3/4 inch pieces on the top, the right, and the bottom. And this is what we're going to be doing. Okay. All right. So we're going to start on the left-hand side, go to the first score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge up into that skinny rectangle. Go to the next score line, cut it to the first score line, next score line, cut it to the first score line, and I leave the score lines attached to that square so that when we wedge each side of it, the score lines come off. Okay, go to the next score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge each side of that square. Okay, now turn it to the other side, and we're going to go to the first score line, cut it to the second score line, get rid of this square on the bottom, and wedge each square on each side of the square that's left. Okay, go to the next score line, cut it to the second score line, next score line, cut it to the second score line. We're going to remove the square at the bottom and wedge each side of the square that's left. Okay, now we're going to take these 4 pieces off. Okay, so it's 4 rectangles, okay, 2 small ones and 2 larger ones. I'm going to take all of that, and I take the score line off with that. And then the last thing is we're just going to wedge up a little bit into the skinny rectangle. Okay, now we need a corner rounder. Flip it back up, and this is our flap, and I want you to round both the corners of that flap we're going to tuck in. Okay, and this is what your cardstock should look like after you're done scoring and cutting. All right, before we put our box together, this time I'm going to put our DSP on just because we have to cut that little grip hole in the back, and it's too skinny to get mine at least circle punches in there. All right, so what we're going to do is start with the 2 pieces that are 1 1/4 by 5, and we're going to put them at the top of both of these bigger areas in the front and the back of our box. Just put them towards the top, and there's about 1/8 of an inch border all around. Some of you might have the really low profile punches that might fit in there, but I don't. They retired them before I got them. All right. Then we're going to put the 2 pieces that are 1 1/4 by 3 from the bottom up, and it will cover a little bit of this DSP at the top. Okay, then we're going to take a small circle punch, and the side that doesn't have the flap on it, I'm just going to take a little bit of a circle out of it, just so it's easier to open. And now we need our tearing tape, and I'm going to put it on what's left of the skinny rectangle next to the score line. I'm going to take the backing off with my Take Your Pick tool. I'm going to roll back anything that went over the edge. I'm going to flip it to the wrong side, flip over the tape side with the tape, and then flip the other side over to meet it. Okay, then I'm going to close the top, and that helps us keep the bottom nice and straight. All right, I'm putting the tabs in. Put a little bit of glue on each tab and pull the back in, and then put some on the back of this one and put the front one over it. Just make sure your sides are straight. I don't think we have any. Well, we could use the pen we have just to make sure those side ones are straight. Okay, and that's the box. I guess I could just put my pen in there. All right. Now we're going to do some stamping while this dries. So we need our piece of basic white, and we need the bottom of the label. That is, I'd say it is about 2 1/4 by 3/4. All right. So let's do that first. And I'm using You Rule the Roost. And I'm just going to put that right in the middle here. Great. Put that to the side. All right, and then we're going to do this bending over rooster. Great. Alrighty. And I'm going to cut this out and I'll be right back. Okay, so there is our rooster. And I'm using mostly the same, except I'm adding light smoky slate. We have light and dark pecan pie, dark daffodil delight, dark boho blue, dark lost lagoon, and dark real red. I'm going to use the real red first, and I'm going to do the eyelids, the wattle here, and then the top feathers of his head. Okay. Then I'm going to put a little bit of light smoky slate on his head first. And then I'm going to add in light pecan pie because I just wanted it a little bit lighter than just the light pecan pie. All right. And then I'm going to use dark daffodil delight for his beak and the bottom of his leg and feet. Okay. All right, now we'll bring the pecan pie back. It won't. Yeah. I'm also going to add a little bit of that light smoky slate to his neck. And then I'll go over it with the light pumpkin pie again. All right. Then for his wings, I'm going to put on the forward edges, I'm going to put a strip of boho blue and a strip of Lost Lagoon. This is dark for both of them. Okay, and then for the rest of his body, I'm going to be doing, and wings, I'm going to be doing the dark pecan pie. Okay. And then for the tail, I'm going to be doing every other one in boho blue, dark boho blue, and then the other two in dark Lost Lagoon. And I'll just kind of add a little bit of both in by where they meet. Okay, and that's it for coloring. And that is what the rooster looks like. All right, now we have to get our box. And first, I'm going to be using some of the Lost Lagoon bordered ribbon. And I'm going to tie it probably about an inch down from the top of the DSP. And I'm going to tie a bow. Okay. Then what we're going to do is work on this, and I'm going to put my silicone mat underneath just so I don't get it all over. All right. I'm going to put the You Rule the Roost even with the bottom of the tag, but it's going to hang off about 1/8 of an inch on each side. So I'm not going to put glue for about 1/8 of an inch on the end. Just put it on there and try to get it even on both sides as to what sticks off. Great. So I'm going to take my sun, and we're going for this area here. All right, so we want to put the wing just so that the feather covers up the edge of the body of the sun. So I'm going to put glue right between those feathers here and up a little bit. And I'm just going to put the feathers right on there. Try to get it a little bit straight. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Oops. Just like that. And then we're going to put dimensionals on the back here. I'm going to use some sides for the little feet. You don't have to if you don't want to. Over here. And I'm just going to cut it. One on the other side. Just going to get my scissors in there and cut that end that doesn't show. I don't want it to show. Okay. Make sure the ends are off of that. Okay, and then I'm just going to use dimensionals. Okay. And then I'm just going to put the feet so that they don't cover up the sentiment. Okay, and then I'm going to put this just like this, but we're going to put dimensionals on it to keep it in about 1/4 inch. And then I'm going to put this, let's see, about 2 inches from the bottom. Press it, is that right? Yeah, that's just about right. And then we need our weather vane. And the weather vane's going to go like this, right in there. Okay, so I need a little bit of glue here and there. And then need a little bit on. I didn't put any on his quill, or it looks like a quill. It's not on the feathers. The feathered end, let's say. It's not feathers either. I guess it is the end of an arrow, actually. Now at the top here, I forgot I'm going to put a glue dot to keep it in place so that it doesn't slide down under the bow. And for the final touch, we're using some Lost Lagoon Tinsel Gems. And I'm going to put a small one over here, a large one in there, and then another small one right on the weather vane ball there. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, my email is below, along with the links to my blog, which has all the directions, and my shop, my Stampin' Up shop, which sells all of these products. Alrighty, except for the pens, I got them on Amazon. Alrighty, have a great day. Please subscribe and hit the like button, and I will see you on Friday. Have a great day. Bye.